all your attention. Thank you so much for taking the morning out to be with us today at Vegan Action Melbourne. My name is Greg Dean. I just wanted to kind of introduce Terry, the founder of Vegan Action Melbourne. I've known Terry for a number of years now, and we've just gone through this learning all about how to speak to people in public and learn to, as best as we possibly can, effectively outreach people to turn them from non-vegans into vegans for the purposes of animal rights activism, which has nothing to do at the end of the day with health or the environment. They are side benefits, and that's what we try and get across to people. Today, we're going through a training. I just wanted to talk to you briefly to introduce Terry. He's a fantastic outreacher. He's a great leader. He's put Vegan Action Melbourne together, and then he's just stuck with it. In fact, he drives quite a long way, about an hour and a half to Melbourne each Saturday to take that time out because he's so passionate about it. We have to learn, just quickly, there's no real wrong way to do activism. There are multiple ways that work, and our focus here today is purely about animal rights activism. So I just want to give it up for Terry. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Greg. I've learned a lot from Greg too. He's very, very good. Obviously, Sorab, Greg, myself, we've chatted over the time we've known each other and discussed what we hear each other talk about when we're outreaching on the streets and go to each other for advice and stuff. So, why are we important? Why is vegan activism important? Because we've got to make the world vegan. That's why we're vegan. That's why we're activists. At the moment, we're in this 2.5% of innovators around the world. I just said, Jot, give me an analogy of it's like a new computer coming out and everyone jumps on it in the beginning, or the smaller little, and then the other people jump in. That's the early adopters. We're in the innovators. We've got to make people vegan and then make them activists. That's our job. We've done that on the streets this year. We've had 2 or 3, 4, 5 join us. They come and go. And then we get, once the early adopters join in, it's the snowball effect. The role will change much faster. The world will change much faster. The early majority, then the late majority are seeing all their friends. They're going to dinner parties and they're eating vegan, and they're getting pressured from their friends. I can't wait for my family to get pressure from their friends. They go to a dinner party. Well, I'm sure we all feel the same. And then you've got the laggards. They're never going to be vegan. We've got to wait for them to die off. And then we'll move through. They'll die before probably the early adopters. Yeah, you know what I mean. Why are you important? The 100-point system. We've just adopted this recently. Each time you talk to anybody, anywhere, you're giving them points on the vegan scale. As you know, I don't advocate for baby steps or transition, but all the time, while people are not vegan and not making any changes, they're seeing a vegan world happen. They're seeing adverts on TV for a plant burger. KFC will be bringing something out soon. They've got McDonald's, Hungry Jack's, vegan smoothies, vegan cheeses, vegan milks, very much so on the TV. People are seeing this. This is all registering points. And then when they go to a cafe and they've got a choice of 5 milks, they start choosing a different milk. They're not even thinking about being vegan, they're just trying new stuff. So when they reach someone like us in the street, that might be 20 points if they just walk straight past. And they go, oh no, I know what this is about. And then they go away and think about it. Then they see something else that's vegan. So they're already up to 30 points, 40 points. Then they see something else that's vegan, or they bump into one of their old friends. Oh, I'm vegan now. Oh, why? The animals. So they gain a few more points. And then they come into the city and they go past another queue. And that's when we get them. We hit them. We get them the last 40, 30 points, and they go, yeah, I've been thinking about it. I think we've all had these conversations. Somebody has nearly been there. They've made absolutely no changes in their diet consciously, or in their choices, I should say, consciously, about being vegan. But then when they get hit with the outreach, an effective outreach, that's when they decide to go, yep, this is it. So that's why the 100-point system is important. And this includes when you're in a 7-Eleven, when you're in a petrol station. Have a quick chat, making a coffee at a machine somewhere, or in a cafe. Ask them, well, have you tried the oat milk? Oh, why should I? It tastes great. That's little points on the scale. You don't have to give them an outreach. We don't have to do that all the time, even though I try to. I don't avoid it, I look for it. I look for an outreach anywhere. I don't know if Saurabh's told me he does. I hope you all do. Look for an outreach when you go in a shop. Bring up the subject. Oh, why aren't you vegan? You know, oh, I am, have been for years. It's really easy to do. At this point, you can tell them how easy it is. We'll get onto that later when in an outreach, to remind people how easy it is today to walk into a shop and buy vegan products. We've got replacements for everything. And they know most of it, or they know we've got it, but they don't know where it is, how to find it. And that's where we're going to help. So, non-vegans share the guilt. We all did. We didn't want to talk about it. They're at barbecues on Sundays in the summer, telling everyone how bad the bushfires are and all the kangaroos and wallabies and wombats are dying while they're eating dead cows, pigs, chickens. They don't talk about those animals. They're not worried about those. They're worried about the farmers losing their profit. We've all heard it, and they're all sharing that guilt. And it's not until a vegan pops up at a barbecue or a dinner and goes, oh, except me. It's usually when I speak up, but I'm not sitting at the same table as they are. That's when we're starting to, they know. That's why non-vegans don't like the presence of vegans, if you felt that, because they know that we highlight their hypocrisy. They know they're against animal cruelty in their mind, but they're not in their actions. We'll come to that later. Our actions speak louder than words. There's no single way of activism. Everything is doing something, as long as it's positive, as long as it gets attention. You are representing an ethical ideology, so this is back to the 100-point system. Speak well, speak for the animals. I've often said, I said it to my boss at work a couple of times, remember who I'm speaking up for. And she walks away with a guilty look on her face. She told me the other week that she feels sorry for the animals. I said, well, take action. Don't just say it. And she hates me for it, but she knows I'm right. And she's my boss, senior boss. It's only about the animals, not environment and health. You'll often find they'll say during a conversation, yeah, I've heard it's better for the environment. I've heard it's better for my health. Run with it. Say, yeah, sure it is. You can do all the research you want. Get it back to the animals. They are trying to deflect, even though they've admitted a positive. Most people, they're not going to change. They're not going to do it for the environment with pigs in a gas chamber. That's not going to change them to be more healthy. You've got to make them feel guilty. That's why we changed. I assume most of us, I did, that's what happened to me. Be direct, truthful, forceful. Those are words from the great Gary Yourofsky. I follow him a lot. I use his speech. I hope all of you have watched his speech. You really should know it inside out. I drag sections of his speech into an outreach. You can use, in his speech, in that speech, there is every reason to be vegan and every excuse. He covers every excuse in that speech, whether it's justifying with other injustice. He covers that, the bumper sticker and the t-shirt. It's doing nothing. It's lip service. And a few weeks ago, Annie was with me. This guy was congratulating us on giving us how great we are, and he was giving us our support. Do you remember him, Annie?
Yeah.
Got a bit aggressive with me, didn't he?
Yeah.
When I called him out.
Yeah.
I said, what's your support mean? I said, are you going to go vegan? He said, no. I said, mate, your words are meaningless. And he didn't like that, did he? I said, I'm suggesting you're saying it to make yourself feel better. And that's why they do it. So they can sleep at night with changing nothing. Call them out on it. Call them out on that. They are trying to make themselves feel comfortable. Hey, I gave that guy support. He then offered me money. He said, what about money? I said, yeah, all right, well, that's support. He's willing to hand over $50. He ended up abusing me and walking off. He wasn't going to give any money. I don't know how it went on the 100-point system. I didn't know that 100-point system at that point. But I held him to account. He felt guilty. And he walked off. Keep it calm. Remember the 100-point system. I just reminded myself. The low-hanging fruit and high-hanging fruit. That's an easy one. If you've got a choice of an outreach, you've got a mid-20s female and a 40-year-old, 40-plus-year-old bloke like me before I was vegan. Who are you going to go for? There's only you. There's two outreaches to do. There's only you available. You go for the 20s female. The demographic of vegans is 70% female, most of them probably under 30, 40. Go for her. She's the one that's more chance going to go vegan. That 40-year-old bloke, he's stuck in his ways. He might get 20 points that day. You've got a good chance of making that girl vegan, that woman, female. If there's someone older, I've tried to do this with our outreach, peer-to-peer. We've got a couple of young girls, they're not here today, 16-year-olds. Go and talk to the young 16, 18-year-old girls. I go and talk to the 50-plus-year-old guys. I have success with them because they're hearing it from a guy the same age. And I call them out on that. I say I was the same. I was the same for 53 years. Complete hypocrite for 53 years. Socratic questioning, we all know that, I think. Ask the questions to bring them to their own conclusion. They end up calling themselves hypocrites, animal abusers, and they know that what we're asking is putting them on the spot, they can paint themselves into a corner. They know they're in the wrong. They know that they've got to make some changes. Be professional, assertive. Your body language. I use body language, as you know. Speak with passion. The animals want you to speak with passion. This stuff, standing with your hands in your pockets. Yeah, well, you know, the animals really need your help. They want this, they want love. They want to hear passion from you. Be positive. If you go into the conversation expecting them to be vegan at the end of it, it's a good chance it'll happen. If you go in expecting them to be aggressive and not vegan, that's what you'll get. You get what you sow, or reap what you sow. Try and put that in. It's difficult. You might come out of a difficult conversation, go straight into the other one, put it behind you. I try and refer to Rafa Nadal, tennis. He has some bad points. The next point is forgotten. It's behind. He goes to the next one like he's going to win it. Go to the next conversation. You're going to get this person vegan. However, your blood pressure's rising and because you've just had an idiot tell you plants feel pain and watermelons are more important than pigs. Go and see the next guy. If someone is not reachable, you get to that point, you know after 3, 4, 5, 6 excuses, they're just going around and they're trying to evade, deflect. Just say, hey, look, have a look around. Always keep your eyes open. Whenever you're in a conversation, keep your eyes open. There might be someone else there that you need to talk to, and there's no one else talking to them, and you're with someone really difficult. Just end it. It doesn't matter. You'll get them on another day, someone else. You gave them 30 points or 40 points. Let them go. Agree to disagree. Say, mate, I don't think we're going to get anywhere today. I've got other people to talk to who might be more open-minded. You know, have a great day. Don't call out names as they leave if they're abusive. I've got to learn from that. Don't gang up. I've seen that within Vegan Action Melbourne. It's easier to do. 4 or 5 people ganging up on one person. Certainly, if you know there's an inexperienced or less experienced outreacher talking with someone, you can tell if the conversation's going well just from the body language. Just go and, if you think you might be able to handle help, walk in, stand next to them, have a listen. If the outreacher's struggling, offer some help, but don't take over the conversation. I don't mind you. There's no harm in helping out. That's what we're here for. But don't 3 or 4 of you go over, unless he's grabbing hold of someone. But, yeah, don't gang up. Don't talk. So that's, yeah, the ganging up. Don't just talk about what's on the screen. Talk about the person's habits, what they are doing, what changes they're going to make, how they've seen the vegan world. I was with a boss a couple of years ago in my workplace. We got a workbench. He was here. I was here. I worked in a supermarket. We had the new vegan 4 and 20 pie on the middle of the counter. And I was going off to do a cube in the city that morning, I think, that day. And he said to me, "How do you know it makes a difference?" I said, "Well, we don't really. We don't know if these people become vegan." And then my eyes looked at the 4 and 20 pie. The vegan fridge in this supermarket where I used to work was the length of that wall from that pipe to the end wall. It was like 6, 8 doors, and it's growing. That's the refrigerate side. Over this side is 2 doors of frozen products. The owners are plant-based, so that helps, but they are pushing vegan food. These people, these non-vegans know it's available. They know it tastes good. Offer this one to anybody when you're talking about the food. We just want food that tastes good, don't we? Does it matter what's in it? As long as what you're eating tastes good. There was an ad that said a tastatarian. There was a vegetarian, a pescatarian, a vegan, a carnivore, he said, and a tastatarian. And they were advertising a vegan burger. It's just someone who wanted something that tastes good. So remember that at any point. But yet talk about the people. What's going on there? Ask them why they're paying for it.